Hello, how's everybody? Here is a video on finding an angle when given two sides in a triangle. So solve for an angle in right triangles. This is going to be a little bit of a long video, so just be ready. I'm going to teach this in detail, okay? Because it is a tricky subject. All right, so right here we have this triangle right here. What we can see is that okay, boom, it's asking for this angle right here. Okay, so I wrote some questions over here, over on the right. So let's go ahead and look at these questions here. What sides do we have in relation to the angles given? All right, so in other words, what are the sides we have here? Well, we can see it gives us this side, which is 3, and it gives us this side, which is 5. So we need to know what sides are these. Well, in relation to the angle, this side over here is the opposite. So it's giving us the opposite side, which is 3, and it's giving us the hypotenuse, which is 5. Okay, so let's go back to our SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA, right? And which one includes the opposite side and the hypotenuse? Well, opposite, hypotenuse, that's sine. Okay, so which trigonometric ratio defines this relationship? That would be sine, right? Sine of some angle is opposite over hypotenuse, right? So sine of some angle is opposite over hypotenuse. All right, well, in this case, let's go ahead and write this out. Sine of, we could say question mark, or we could say angle A. Let's just say A, all right? Sine of A equals opposite over hypotenuse. So if we were to simplify this, what we would get is sine of A equals 3 over 5. 3 divided by 5 is just 0.600, okay? So the reason I wanted to write it like this is because I want us to go to our table, our trigonometric table. So that's this, right? Remember this? Our table of trigonometric ratios, all right? So what we want to do here in our table of trigonometric ratios is we want to figure out where the sine is equal to, like what angle is it whenever the sine is equal to 0.6000. The reason I wrote it as 4 places behind the decimal is because that's how the trigonometric table is written, right? Or the table of trigonometric ratios. So let's go down sine and let's find out where sine is 0.60000. Let's see if we get lucky here. Okay, so what do we see here? We see that right here at 37 degrees, sine is equal to 0.6018. And at 36 degrees, sine is equal to 0.5878. So it looks like our angle is going to be super close to 37 degrees, but it doesn't hit perfect, does it? So I can't get a perfect answer using the table, all right? But I do know it's got to be really close to 37 degrees. You could make a guess right now how close to 37 degrees it's going to be. 0.6000. 0 is really close. So I would say it's going to be something like 36.9 something. All right. So now what we're going to do, because now we see that the question asks, it says round your answer to the nearest hundredth. Well, guess what? We can't do that using the table, right? We could only make a guess. As a matter of fact, first let's use our trigonometric table to estimate what our angle would be. And let's just guess. What was it? What's your guess? Guess yourself and see if you can get closer than me. It's going to be the closest hundredth. So I'm going to say it's going to be like 36.85. Let's try that. That's going to be my guess. 36.85. What's your guess based on what you saw in those tables? All right. So now what we're going to do, all right, is we're going to use a calculator to find it. All right. Now, I'm going to use the Google calculator right here. I'm going to use the Google calculator to figure out what this one equals. All right. Okay. So here we go. I think I just gave the answer away. Did you guys see that? I think I left it on there. All right. So usually we've been punching in sine of some angle, right? So check this out. Check this out. Sine of 37 degrees equals, we just saw this on the table, is 0.6018. Right? See that? Okay. So usually that's what we're doing. We're saying the sine of an angle, right? If we have an angle, we can do that. All right. So I don't know, I'm kind of going a different way than I'd planned on going, but check this out. What is sine of 36.9 degrees? Boom. Look at that. 36.9 degrees gives me 0.6004. So we're really close, aren't we? Okay. So I'm going a different way here. I'm going to show you the shortcut here in a minute, but all I'm doing is I'm just punching in angles. I want to see whenever I get that ratio of 0.6000. So let's try something a little smaller. Sine of, let's try my estimate, 36.85. Boom. 0.5997. Okay. So I'm going to need to be a little bit bigger than 36.85. Boom. Sine of 36.87. Boom. There it is. 36.87. All right. So that looks to be my answer. You can see that's 0.600014. Okay. But it's not exact, actually. This is how you do it exact on the Google calculator. Okay. Now, we don't have an angle. So what we need to do, we need to push this inverse button. First off, we need to make sure it's on degrees. And we're going to push inverse sine. See, now check this out. Look, see how when I punch inverse, it gave me this sine with this little -1 up there? Now, that's not an exponent. That's the inverse sine function. Okay? The inverse sine function finds angles given sides. Okay? So we're going to punch this. It's going to say arc sine right here. And then we're going to type in 0.6. All right? Because that was our ratio, 3/5. And that equals 36.869. And we had to round to the nearest hundredth. So 36.87 is going to be my answer. Okay? So 36.87 7 degrees would be my answer on this one. Okay? All right. Next question. Next page. Here we go. Boom. All right. So on this one, we're gonna go through the steps a little bit quicker this time. This is the angle it wants. It's giving me the adjacent side, and it's giving me the hypotenuse. So it's giving me adjacent over hypotenuse, which is which trigonometric function? That's what? Cosine, right? So cosine of question mark equals 3 divided by 7. Okay? So cosine of question mark equals 3 divided by 7. So what we're going to do is we're going to type this in. Cosine, this is what we're going to use on our calculator. Cosine, the inverse cosine of 3 over 7 is going to equal some angle. Okay? Some angle. And this is how the inverse function gets used on that calculator. All right, are you ready? Let's do it on Google Calculator first. So here's my cosine. So inverse, see how it pops it up? So the inverse cosine of 3 over 7 equals 64.62 degrees. 64.62 degrees. So this is going to be 64.62 degrees. Okay, I'm going to show you this on Khan Academy. Same problem, see that? Same problem. So I forgot how hard it is to write. Cosine of angle B equals 3 over 7. So the inverse cosine of 3/7 is going to give me my angle. We just did this, so if you need this. So I wanted to show you on this calculator. You can see here, it already has that in there for you. So inverse cosine of 3 over 7 equals 64.62. 64.62. 64.62, right? And there we go. Okay. All right. That's it for the Khan Academy examples. But I do on this, I do have another page here of practice problems. All right. Find each angle measure to the nearest degree. Now what we're going to do here, it says sine of B equals 0.4848. On this, we're going to use the table of trigonometric ratios. So 0.4848, sine 0.4848 is where? Look at that, it's right here. See that? Remember, sine is on the left here. Sine, cosine, tangent. So, ka, toa. So, ka, toa. It's put in that order for you. So 0.4848. So what degree measure is that? That's 29 degrees. This is 29 degrees, right? And like I said, pause this and try these yourself. Okay, pause it right now. I'm going to go ahead and do them real quick. All right, I'm going to use my table. Okay, I got it right here. So I'm just going to write these in, but you need to pause it and you need to write them in yourself. Okay. This is 31 degrees. Cosine 0.7431. Boom, 42 degrees. Cosine W equals 0.6157. 52 degrees. Cosine of A equals 0.5878. It's 54 degrees. Tangent, this is 87 degrees. Cosine of A, 0.4226. 65 degrees. Yeah, these are all exact. Tangent of W, 0.5317. 28 degrees. All right, this one right here, this is giving me adjacent over, let's see, it's giving me the adjacent and the opposite. So this is giving me adjacent and opposite, so that's tangent. Tangent of question mark equals opposite over adjacent. So inverse tangent of 27/38 equals, and that's going to spit out an angle, okay? Got to remember, like, you might be thinking like other math rules exist here, but these are just function notation right here. This -1 up here is just a notation, and all it is just saying it's the inverse of the tangent. And you're just going to punch this in your calculator. Inverse tangent of 27/38 is going to give me an angle. All right, so let's see what that is. 27/38, right? Boom. Let's move me over there. Inverse, I'm going to clear this. Inverse tangent 27/38 equals 35.39. So this angle equals, that was 35.39, right? 35.39 degrees. This is also tangent. See the relationship? It's the exact same sides in relation to the angle. So this one's also tangent. So tangent of question mark equals opposite over adjacent. So inverse tangent of 9/21 is going to give me the angle, okay? Inverse tan 9 divided by 21 equals 23.20. So the angle here is going to be 23.20. Hope this was helpful, you guys. Takes a little bit on these. Some about these is tricky, about just being able to punch this into your calculator. I think like what I struggled with when I was in high school was the new notation. This -1 is not an exponent. It's just a function. that you're telling your calculator to do. It's an inverse trig function. Why is it an inverse trig function? Because we're used to typing in the angle and getting a ratio. But in this case, we're typing in a ratio and getting an angle. It's the inverse of what we've been doing, okay?